Come on, guys, let's go. Let's go. It's gotten to be spiderweb season, so I'm walking the gauntlet looking for webs. Don't want them in my face or my hair for sure. So we're headed to the old golf course, Hilltop Needmore Park and Preserve. One of our typical Saturday or Sunday destinations, since we have a little more time. It's also 9:40, so we're starting our walk about an hour later than normal too, because we had coffee and slept 15 minutes later and chatted some more, and just you know, moving at Saturday speed today. Red Trail it is. Here we go. Don's styling in his wider brimmed hat this morning because we left the other hat in Ruby. Plus it's not raining, and this is great for sun protection, whereas the other one is more of a sweat rain hat. Well, that sun walking over here to the shady part was a little intense. I can't say that I'm too upset about being over here in the shade now.
Yeah, the top of my head broke out in the sweat.
Although this is the most shady part of the course. Yeah. The part along the back and then up the hill on the other side is mostly in the sun. Yeah, uphill, you can tell. You can tell that milky white, barely any blue in the sky. It's a summer day. You know, pure summer sky up there. We had close to 2 more tenths of an inch in that little cell that we weren't expecting that moved through yesterday afternoon. So we're good on rain, which is good because it's going to be low 90s this week and like 20% chance of showers all week. So I don't think we're going to be seeing much this coming week. I was reading about the real heat wave out west. It's hard to fathom 115, although I have been in Needles, California when I visited the Grand Canyon in the 80s, and it was like 114, and I remember as a little kid the pool water at the hotel was like bath water. It wasn't refreshing at all. The naked eye can see the moisture coming off the grass drying, and like I said, it's just that white milky sky today. It's no pretty blue, no clouds, at least not yet. And we're feeling the heat, I would say.
Yeah, the humidity is what I'd call low. I think they said the dew point was going to be in the 60s, so it isn't high.
It's not stifling, yeah, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, it's comfortable enough.
So I don't pay super close to the Tour de France, but I'm looking at the side of the trail here, and I'm thinking about that pileup they had yesterday where somebody got off on the fringe and then some bikers went down sort of the side of this little ravine. This one guy had his team member support crew go grab his sunglasses. They were sort of down the hill. It was quite the little thing yesterday. And this trail would certainly be one you would want to stay in the middle of in certain spots if you were biking. It's a reprieve from the sun, Donnie. I should have worn my hat today, and I don't have my hat.
Trust me, I'm glad I brought you to say, oh, we'll just wear this hat. I'm very happy that you told me to do that. This is a very, this is an ideal hat for this.
Yep.
The big brim really makes a difference, and it's got those vents that kind of let out a little of the heat.
Appreciating all of that today, huh?
Yeah, appreciating it. Yeah, wish I would have brought my sunglasses.
Oh, wow. There's a heron, and he's up there in the tree. I don't usually see him. I don't know that you guys can see him because he's gray and the branches are gray. This is where I need my other camera. There's a couple of deer. Those look like first year mama someplace nearby. They're not big enough to be mama.
Yeah, I agree. They look little. Well, I would say this got to pretty much be deer heaven over here.
Yeah. Aw. Bye, guys. Thanks for the show.
There ain't nothing's going to catch them. They're going to be able to out on this ground. They're going to be able to outrun anything.
Yep. I survived the hill again. Don held my hand. He gives me just a little extra support. You know, my heart's up at 163, so it's working pretty good. But Don was not talking normal. He was having to work it a little bit too.
Stop, take a breath, talk. Take a breath, talk.
You're not going to show off today and run to the top of that little hill? Yeah, go.
Listen to her.
Short intensity burst. Yay, Donnie!
Follow the red stripe trail.
Follow the red stripe trail.
Because
we follow the red stripe trail.
Red stripe trail.
Maybe we shouldn't leave our day jobs. So we are doing the blue trail also, that extra 6/10 of a mile. Don didn't even bat an eye. He just kind of knows we're doing it now. I didn't even have to ask. We just head for it.
Yeah, but that means I'm piling up when I get home.
Well, we have a craft project, I'm going to call it, an engineering craft project. We have a couple of UGears kits. Johnny got one for Christmas, and then I got one for me and Don too. One is to build a differential, and we're going to do a little family craft while it's super hot outside and nobody wants to be out there, and have some fun with that today too.
Yeah, we were really...
All right.
Yeah, so that was an hour, 2 minutes, 54 seconds, 2.97 miles, 434 calories it says I've burned, 21 minutes, 10 seconds per mile average. The first mile was 22:04, the second mile was 20:27, and the third mile was 20:56. So the first mile we were really slow, but that's because we were meandering over there.
I was working on my phone. I had problems with the display brightness that kind of slowed me down. Well, my watch says an hour and 3:58, 2.7 miles, down to 116 beats per minute, and I'll let you know about steps here in a second. Yeah, I'm at 7,125 steps. Totally respectable. So we saw Kyle had his Revel camper, is that what he's calling it? Camper, at the new Revel DC fast charging station in Brooklyn, New York last evening. And I guess I didn't see the footage on it yet, but there were at least, I'm gonna say 10, but probably more like 20 charging stations there. And it's always interesting to read the comments that are left, like, oh wow, this is great. And somebody said, oh wow, I can't wait to see, I don't want to see these big charging conglomerates, I just want charging at every gas station. And a lot of us think charging at every gas station, why would you want that? You would want that if you can't charge at home, right, where you would go charge locally somewhere. But for folks that can charge at home, well, you charge at home, like you only charge out for fun, which is normally what we do, or when you are on a trip, which is what you get, 2-3 weeks of vacation a year. So when you're on a trip, maybe a long weekend a couple times a year, but normally you're charging at home. So the model of, I need to see like this big station, or I need to see one at every gas station particularly, it doesn't really fit the adoption needs. The adoption needs is more that people can either charge in their apartment complex because they've put in 1 or 2 stations there, or have a way to plug in at their townhouse, or you know, they have a garage, or they can charge inside and out. So I don't know, but it was interesting. I mean, we love all of Kyle's exploits and seeing all the things that he shows, and it is an interesting debate with folks as to what's the way to go with infrastructure. And we've had that discussion before. Where do we need charging stations? How much will that help? And Don and I have said before, we think it would help more if you can charge where you live, regardless if that's an ownership situation or a rent or a lease situation. All right, I need a little kid, so I have a reason to go on the splash pad and get cooled off. So Johnny, you're building what now?
A pneumatic engine.
Pneumatic engine. Don is building a
differential.
These are little wooden kits. It is similar to putting Legos together, like especially the robot ones where there's gears that move, but of course this is wood. It's first time ever doing one of these kits. These kits are made by UGears. It all started with an Amazon Prime special for Johnny. That was a Christmas present, and then I said, well, it'd be a family fun thing if we all have one. I have a steampunk clock that I'm going to build. And we watched a couple videos.
163 parts. It says I have to be 8 to do this.
Okay. I made him a cup of coffee. He's had a nap. I made him bacon and eggs so he's not hungry. He should be primed and ready to go. These are quite popular. Yeah. You can look for UGears videos, the ones by the company and ones by people that have put them together. Because we watched a video to see about pressure and breakability and all this stuff. Holy moly, Donnie.
I think I got ripped off. I got a lot of work to do here.
4 sheets, baby. 4 big sheets. Mine is 2 small sheets. Coming good, Johnny? So far, so good. All right, let's get building. So Johnny's got the frame built over there.
Yes.
Don is reading instructions and making plans and hasn't popped any pieces yet.
Oh, I got my helper. They gave me a little tool to help me pop stuff out.
And I'm on step 2. It's coming.
And he's got, the sheets are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Don read the instructions.
The instructions. It's because I made a lot of mistakes in my life.
So I am moving on to step 4. This clock does spin, but it is not accurate time telling. Some of their products are STEM and they teach concepts. This one is just more ornamental. Don has his first couple of parts together. Yay!
Yes, I do.
So when I was putting this together, and there's 4 pins here, we were talking a little bit about push it down a little bit, go to the next pin. Push it down a little bit, go to the next pin. It's kind of like putting on a tire and not fully torquing all the lug nuts as you go, but kind of spinning the tire and continuing to tighten. So you get things on nice and straight. And this applies to Legos when we're building the gears too. You can't have something with 4 pins and just push straight down. You kind of gotta line it up, push a little, get everything started, and then come around and push some more. So Don saved me and took this piece to the garage. He says he does not know how anyone could have done what was required with their fingers.
Yeah, you'd have to
he used his little vice grip, which didn't mark up the wood, but you can see the mechanism. I'm trying to turn it with my left hand. You get the gist. It does spin. Well, we're right at about 2 hours and 15 minutes into building. It's 3:15 now, and it's done. My clock is done. It spins. It will go a whole 360 degrees if you hold it just right. And it doesn't actually, according to the website, keep time even if you attach a motor to it. But it's pretty and steampunky and has real gears. And I had fun building it. And I did make one mistake where I had to push back through 5 different pins. I had the clock face on backwards. The little numbers were wrong. But I didn't break anything fixing it, and I stuck with it, and it's done. If you get one of these kits that doesn't have wax, you'll make life a lot easier for yourself if you get some wax, either from another family member's kit or, you know, some candle you have around the house. Guess I better go check on the guys in the garage.
Oh, you're videoing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know how anybody would be expected to do this kit without a vise or something that can be easily controlled. Just pushing those toothpicks through there, man, that ain't easy. Not easy at all. And there's a lot of little pieces involved in all this.
And this is my pneumatic engine.
Yeah, this is the pneumatic engine, that's right.
Yeah. So we're currently building the intake manifold and the piston.
Right, we're trying to. That's exactly right.
So this is the engine itself.
Holy moly, look at those toothpicks.
There's a piston in here that moves.
Yeah.
And then this piston eventually will end up in here.
Wow. Now I see why that was so complicated and not to break those little tiny toothpicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a valve piston, and this is the piston, the power piston, the bottom one.
Yeah, the vise didn't actually save the day. There's too many things, too many moving parts.
Right, so what worked?
I took a pair of duckbill pliers and I moved it, pushed each pin in 1/16 of an inch at a time.
And you also drilled out the holes.
And I did to clean the holes up. Drill the, I think it was a 5/64.
Yeah, that sounds like what you said.
Yeah, and that cleaned the holes out. So that everything was lined a little bit better.
Wow.
It was a challenge. I totally tell you it was a challenge.
Wow.
I really don't think that anyone without knowledge of tools could do this. That Mr. Don has.
Yeah, I would say that was I would be questioning some
8-year-old building. Well, which one said it was for an 8-year-old? Yours?
Mr. Don's was supposed to be the 8-year-old one.
Yeah, I don't know what yours is rated at, Johnny, but
Well, we can check.
is mine
14 plus.
14 plus.
Yeah,
with the help of a parent and a parent that's good with crafts and tools and engineering.
I would agree with that.
So basically, for sure, Mr. Don and Andy qualify as helpers on these things, but I don't, your mom couldn't have helped you get those toothpicks in.
No, we would
so
have been stuck.
We would have been stuck. Mr. Don, the team lead at work and the team lead for all home projects as well.
I want to be the fired guy. I want to be the guy they fire first.
Well, it looks like it's coming along. You're back in action. You're back on track.
Yeah, back on track.
I'm back to sorting Legos and keeping them company while they work on their projects.
Yep.
What, Dottie?
There's like 146 parts and I'm only on part like 54.
So the challenge of more parts and more instructions is not necessarily the better. Of course, I don't do all 500 in a day either.
Right.
On my Lego things. You're welcome to walk with me, buddy. I came out the door and he jumped up and meowed. So we had some frozen food delivered. It's actually stuff for the cats, and I got a notification that it's delivered, but nobody came to the house. So you guess where it is. It's either at the mailbox or it's on the stairs, because FedEx is great. Not. He didn't make it too far, but he did sort of follow me. It's hot out here. I don't blame him. Everything's loaded up in the freezer, and the good news is that it was still nice and cold. It's frozen solid. That's my good boy. That's my good boy. I'm betting you want some food.
I think all I have left now is the actual base to mount it on.
Wow, it's starting to look like something.
Yeah, really, I don't know what it's going to do, but we're going to find out here shortly.
I just finished building this engine with some help from Mr. Don, and immediately we noticed the compression. It's
got compression
stroke. That's it. It's these wheels aren't remaining lined up, but that's okay. But see, it's got compression, so why don't you give it a whirl, Mr. Don?
We got an air compressor here. We're gonna just do a little air.
We're running 20 psi.
So that's the intake manifold, that little hole.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. Wheels. Alright, let's try again.
Well, maybe 20 is not enough.
I kind of went for a second. Am I running it the right way?
I think it whichever way you start it.
Let's try 40.
Let me help it up. One more try.
Look, careful.
These wheels are misaligned anyway.
No, let's see.
Is there a certain stroke you want to try to start it on?
I don't know. Let's see here. I think this needs to move over a little bit.
Whoa, baby, whoa! Look at it go, Johnny! You did that, buddy, good job! I just gave him a fist bump. That's awesome!
I told you it was going to work. It's out. It's only a 1 gallon.
That was so Johnny! That is so cool! Way cool! I love the noise it made.
Right.
That was amazing.
Alright. 3, 2. Oh, just goes.
Running out of air. Totally awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it's done. It has a little brake that brakes each wheel. These are the wheels. And so if you brake a wheel, apply the brakes, you can still turn.
Huh.
And if you brake the other wheel, it'll
Oh,
still
wow.
turn. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so, and then of course, you know, you can really, it makes no difference, you know, both of them, if you put equal torque, it puts equal torque to each side. That's an open, this is known as an open differential at this point, okay?
I'll do that again. That was kind of cool. Huh. Okay.
Right, so this is what happens is this wheel gets stuck on, this wheel's touching the nice, good grippy asphalt.
Right.
And this one's over off the road in the mud, right? And so what happens is you do your engine, and this one has plenty of grip. It's the one that doesn't turn. The one that's in the mud over here on the side, it turns. So that's the problem with an open differential. It's great going around corners though. When you go around corners, then the outside wheel, you know, they can turn at different speeds because the inside wheel turns slightly slower than the outside wheel. So that, you know, is very smooth around curves, but that open differential causes a problem. But this has a lever, and you can close the differential. Now the differential is closed.
Okay.
It's lock, positive traction. So now, if I try to
Stop one, they both stop.
They both stop. It's not wanting to turn.
Okay.
Okay. As long as, you know, the car's going. So if you're on a drag race or something, you want maximum traction. So now, if this wheel was on the asphalt with good traction, and this one was over off the road in the mud, with this differential locked like this, it would actually pull this one that would have traction and very likely get you car free. So that's how that works.
That's pretty cool. There is like an educational video and a paper and stuff that came with it, which of course Don understands how a differential works.
Yep. Yep. Way cool. I have to say, there was only one part that was tricky. Oh, that was your clock.
Yeah, I don't know that you had any problems with that. Don just got lots of interruptions keeping me and Johnny going.
There's a lot of things.
Those toothpicks on Johnny's were really difficult.
And it uses a little rubber band down here on the bottom to center the brake, to keep the brake so that the brake, it's just friction, you know, it touches the wheel over here.
Gotcha.
And so that centers it so that it, you know, actually isn't braking when you try to turn it.
Way cool, Donnie.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these Lego parts showed up today. Any guesses as to what they're going to be for? Could I be prepping early for the holiday season? I'm thinking so. This seller has a made their own bag system, you know, with the heat thing. I'm sure that saves them a little bit of money. Probably. Well, apparently Tesla's decided to ship the Model Y to Europe from Shanghai. Can't say that's a big shocker.
Yeah. Rob Maurer, Tesla Day, has given several reasons
obvious and not so obvious.
Obvious, not so obvious, but you know, one of the reasons is that possible Giga Berlin delays. It's the second reason. Low demand in China is his first reason. Second would be Giga Berlin delay. Well, I got news for you. I am very concerned. I have been ever since they did the announcement that they were going to build the Gigafactory in Germany. I believe I would rather have a Chinese-built Model Y. In other words, if the choice of importing the car from Berlin or importing the car from China and this car I'm going to drive in the U.S., I think I'd rather have the Chinese car. That's not against the German. It's just that right now I think the Chinese are so rabid about making sure everything is perfect that your car would be basically perfect. I'm not saying that Germans, they're very methodical and stuff like that, but you know, it's a union job. I'm going home today, you know, I'm going to take my 2-hour lunch and stuff, you know.
I got my summer vacation cover, like the entire summer, those things those Europeans get to do.
So you know, I'm wondering, but really, I still, I think there's only one question about Giga Berlin that you need to be, that I cannot answer, and if I could answer this question, then I could tell you if Giga Berlin will ever build a single Tesla. I am now at the point where I am not sure they will ever build a single Tesla. Where did Tesla get the money from? If the capital raise was done via German banks, then there's no worries. It will open. It might be a little delayed, but it will open. Things will move forward. But if it's only Chinese money and American money, the capital that built that Gigafactory, it may never open.
As a Tesla branded vehicle.
Yeah, well, not as Tesla branded or anything. I think that the Germans in the German auto industry, they said this is the perfect bait to get Tesla to sink all this money into a factory that we can stop and it'll never open. So it could literally cause financial ruin, hardship for Tesla. So I think that's the question you have to ask yourself. Where did they get the money to build Berlin? If it was from German banks, we're good. Because the German banks, they're going to make sure they get their money out. But if it was from American banks and or Chinese banks, I don't know. I would be very, very worried right now that there may never be a Tesla shipped from Berlin or built in Berlin, not for sale.
Yeah, I don't know what day you first said that on the channel, but it had to be before Christmas.
Oh, I've been thinking.
Don's been upset about them putting a Gigafactory in Berlin since before they broke ground, and they were just signed a deal.
Germans are very protective of their auto industry, which is perfectly fine. Detroit's very protective.
Yep.
But they've got more levers. The German auto industry has a whole countries. And truthfully speaking, I know there's a such thing as EU, but there's this 950-pound gorilla called Germany. It doesn't really matter what the rest of the EU wants to do. Germany pretty much just does what it wants to do.
Yeah, well, I got to say that I share your concern. I've been coming closer to your thinking on it as time has progressed. Well, and it really boils down to, too, even if it's not never, they are already causing Tesla pain in the delays. Yep. And if they delay for 6 more months, 12 months, 18 more months, do we care if it ever opens? Because...
Well, but
that's all right.
Short sellers and everybody will go rabid.
Well, that's all right. Shanghai will crank out all the cars they need in Europe.
Or Austin.
Or Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll see.
So this is Rob Mauer's slide on his video today from Tesla Daily. Possible reasons to export. Low demand in China, divert to EU. I don't think that's it. Giga Berlin delay. Obviously, there's been some delay. Higher ASP profit in Europe, so they can make more money selling the cars coming out of Shanghai than coming out of Berlin. I don't know how they would know that for sure yet, but I can see why that might be the case, even with import tariffs and such.
Germany's not the low-cost producer.
Yeah. Protect market share in Europe. Like, you know, we got people that want the car now. Well, they want it in 12 or 18 months when Giga Berlin gets itself sorted out. Maybe not. And pressure Germany to get Giga Berlin going. And I think the Germans ought to be embarrassed if they're holding it up on purpose over there. Nothing like watching a diet video, a health video, and exercising at the same time. I just did my 15 minutes. Yeah, I guilted him. I did 15. He said he only needed 100 more steps. I said, come on, get on it. It's not just about the steps. You know, every time we watch the Tour de France, I wonder why in the world all the team cars aren't EVs. Who would want to breathe in the fumes from those ice cars while you're sucking wind anyway going uphill? And I see in this picture, you know, the cars are behind, but they're not behind all of the racers. Some of them are behind the cars, and I would be super upset about breathing in that stuff. Turn them EV. That was a great... And all the people in the crowd on the side of the road are smelling those exhaust fumes too.